So, you've done it. You've built an absolutely incredible AI model. It's smart, it's powerful, it's basically a work of art. But right now, it's kind of just trapped on your laptop. In this explainer, we're going to tackle that crucial next step, how to turn your brilliant experiment into a real-world product that anyone, anywhere, can actually use.
Okay, to really get this, let's use an analogy. Imagine your AI model isn't just a bunch of code. Imagine it's a world-class chef. This chef can whip up the most amazing, complex, and frankly, delicious text-based dishes you've ever seen, all on command. An absolute culinary genius.
But here's the problem, right? This genius chef is stuck cooking in a private kitchen with all the doors locked. There are no customers, no waiters, no way to share these incredible creations with the world. And let's be honest, a fantastic model that no one can access is, well, it's not very useful, is it?
And that is exactly what we're fixing today. We're going to build what's called an API, an application programming interface. And for our purposes, you can just think of it as the restaurant for our AI chef. We're building the front door, we're printing the menu, and we're hiring the staff so the whole world can finally come in and taste what this chef is cooking.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the code on a laptop. It's a cool, isolated experiment, but it's a dead end. On the other side, you've got a live API, and that's a global service, ready to take orders from anywhere at any time. This is the huge leap we're making, from a personal project to a public utility. So, how do we build this restaurant? Well, just like any good establishment, it needs a solid, well-organized crew. We're going to structure our entire operation into 3 core files, and each one has a very specific, very important job. So, meet the team. We have 3 main players. First, you've got the chef and kitchen. That's our core model logic. Then there's the menu and rules, which, you guessed it, defines what customers can ask for. And finally, the front of house, which handles all the customer interaction. Let's break down each one. First up, MLEngine.py. This is the heart of the whole operation. It's the kitchen, the engine room. This is where our actual AI chef, in this case, a powerful little model called TinyLlama, lives and works. Its one and only job is to load up that model and get it ready to start cooking up some amazing text.
Now, here is the single most important, unbreakable rule of this kitchen. You load the model into memory exactly 1 time, right when the server starts up. You would never ever rebuild the entire kitchen every single time a new customer walks in the door. That would be total chaos and incredibly slow.
And this number right here shows you exactly why. Even a so-called small language model like this one is over a gigabyte in size. Can you imagine trying to load a gigabyte of data for every single person who makes a request? Your server would just fall over and die before it even took the first order. Loading it once is the absolute key to having a fast, responsive service.
Okay, next member of our crew, schemas.py. I want you to think of this file as the restaurant's menu, but it's also the bouncer at the front door. It uses a really neat tool called Pydantic to clearly define what a valid order looks like, which stops customers from asking for impossible or nonsensical things.
And the author of the original article, Aman Karwal, puts it perfectly. He says to think of it as a bouncer, making sure only valid data gets through to the chef. It protects your kitchen from chaos.
And here's a perfect example of what that bouncer does. If a customer sends a normal request like, "Why is the sky blue?" Great, the bouncer lets it through. But what if they try to send an empty prompt, or ask for a ridiculously high number of tokens, or a temperature of 5.0, which doesn't even make sense for the model? The bouncer stops them right at the door and says, "Nope, try again." This prevents so many headaches.
And that brings us to our final crew member, main.py, the front of house. This is your friendly host, your efficient waiter, all powered by an amazing framework called FastAPI. Its job is to greet the user, take their order, which we already know is valid thanks to our bouncer, run it back to the kitchen, and then deliver that finished dish right back to the customer.
Now, the magic of a good front of house is that it's an incredible multitasker. You know, if one customer places a really complex order that's going to take the chef a while to prepare, FastAPI makes sure the waiter doesn't just stand there and freeze. It lets them keep taking orders from other tables while the big one is cooking. It runs the heavy lifting in a separate thread so the whole restaurant stays smooth and responsive.
Okay, our crew is assembled, the kitchen is hot, and the doors are ready to swing wide open. It is time for the grand opening. Let's fire this thing up and serve our very first customer.
And honestly, you won't believe how easy this is. You run one single command in your terminal. That's it.
FastAPI spins up the server and automatically creates this beautiful, interactive documentation page for you. All you have to do is open that page in your browser, type in a question, and hit execute.
And voila! Just like that, the order is sent to the kitchen and the chef sends back a perfectly prepared dish. You get this nice, clean JSON response with the generated text inside. Our restaurant is officially open for business.
But let's zoom out for a second here, because what we've built isn't just a single restaurant. By wrapping our AI model inside an API, what we've really created is a portable, reusable unit of intelligence. It's more like a blueprint for a restaurant franchise. Think about it. This one API, this single AI kitchen, can now be the engine for almost anything you can dream up. It could power a dynamic website, a smart mobile app, an automated chatbot for Discord, you name it. You've essentially created an intelligent source that you can plug into anything. So, we did it. We took a brilliant chef out of a lonely, isolated kitchen, and we opened a world-class restaurant. So the only question left to ask is, now that your AI is officially open for business, what are you going to put on the menu?